Hey everyone, Ray Burkhalter here again with REI Funding Partners, and we're excited to bring you another video interview here for our Pro Team series. Again, our Pro Team, if you haven't watched these before, these are people that work with real estate investors in some phase of you buying, closing, renovating, or selling your property. These are key people on your team that are helping you be successful and make money. And so today, we have Taylor Dye, and Taylor, I'm not gonna bust the bubble for them yet and tell them exactly what you do. That's going to come up in just a moment. But first, as we call this a relationship business, and it really is, we want people to know that they can really count on you and know who you are as a person. So one of the great things about having this is video. So welcome on. Glad to have you here. And why don't you first just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, kind of which, if you serve a certain city or do you serve a whole state, or kind of how that works.
Well, thank you, Ray. So my name, like he said, is Taylor Dye. I work and live right here in Birmingham, Alabama. Growing up in Birmingham, went to school in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So pretty familiar with a lot of areas. But I live in the Mountain Brook area now and grew up there as well. Married, wife, got a little baby boy who's a year and a half. So it's a lot of fun these days. Yeah.
You also have a really nice kind of collector edition motorcycle.
I do. I really enjoy riding a motorcycle. I got an Indian motorcycle and enjoy riding that. When I'm not doing that, I'm spending time with family, doing some fishing, and just enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let our people know what is your role in this. What's the field that you're bringing support in for our people?
Insurance. I've been with State Farm now a little over a year. Been in the insurance industry. She's been close to 7 years now. So I am. I'm the insurance guy.
Yeah, and so we know that is a key player. I can tell our audience. So in doing hundreds of these loans, we always want to make sure that there's a good, solid insurance policy on it. We had one recently where there was some significant tornado damage, and the insurance really kind of made me and our borrower nervous there. So I can just tell everyone here how important the insurance side of this is. If you don't need it, it doesn't seem like it matters that much. But when you do need it, you need somebody that you can count on and somebody that's written the policy up well. So I know you said you've been in the insurance business for about 7 years, Taylor. How many years of that have you kind of spent working with real estate investors, and how did you? Because there's so many people in insurance that don't really understand investors, what they need, how they work. How long, and then how did you come to work with real estate investors?
Thank you. Absolutely. So I've been working with real estate investors for probably 4 or 5 of my 7 years with insurance with investors. I've become real familiar, like same with my dad has several, rental properties, and I've been a part of insuring those, kind of seeing what you need to properly insure those, whether it's something you're going to be rehabbing and reselling, or something, that you're going to have a tenant in for a long period of time. So being able to see that firsthand and be directly involved has been really helpful for me to know what you as an investor needs and kind of what to look for and what questions to ask even when you're buying the property, versus just, all right, well, I'm buying for this much, I want to insure it for this much.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a lot more to it than just here's the property and we're going to rehab. And then some insurance agents, and I'm not putting anyone down, I'm just saying you've got experience in this, and I know from talking with you through a property that we just personally insured with you recently, the kind of questions you asked. But and I want to get into that just a little bit more. But first, I want to ask you this question. I think this would be important for our listeners. because you could work with a broad range of people, yet you choose to work with investors. You're like actively seeking out investors. Why is it that you like working with investors?
I like working with investors because it's a learning experience for both of us. Each time we work with a new property, it's always something new. It's always something different, and every situation is different. I mean, investors generally speaking, too, if I'm asking the right questions, they know what they want, know what they need. We can get it done and be able to create a friendship or a relationship where they know that I'm easily accessible to when they get that next property. Because man, I want to work with you on all the properties, not just the one single thing. I mean, this is your livelihood. This is my livelihood, and I like to, take care of people with their livelihoods. I mean, that's enjoyable for me.
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of sensed that when we met that getting to know people and do that kind of repeat business would be kind of big. So kind of circling back to some of the questions that you ask when you're working with investors, and like some things that maybe people in your field that aren't used to dealing with renovation projects, what are some tips um, that you kind of bring to, I mean, tips that you bring to the table is not exactly right, but more of like, what are some maybe insights that you'd want to let our listeners know, that they, kind of questions that an insurance agent should be asking to make sure it's the right policy and that they're going to get the right coverage?
Right. So I'm asking pretty specific questions, and being from Alabama is really helpful to me as well when I'm working with people, because we're with people from all over, the country at times. And when I'm not working with folks with Ray, that specifically you, I mean, I'm talking to people in California that are buying properties in Alabama, so I can get inside of areas of town and how the market is. But when it comes down to specific houses, I'm asking questions about, the plumbing, the wiring. I want to know about you know, whether it's got circuit breakers, whether it's got knob and tube, you know, it's built in 1960. All right, what type of plumbing does it have? Are we dealing with cast iron? Are we dealing with PEX? I mean, what I want to know more specifics so I can really help them protect that investment properly.
Yeah,
Um, and if it's going to be vacant, I need to know if it's going to be vacant. I need to know how long it's going to be vacant, what type of work you're doing, upgrades, and what you're putting into this home to make it either resellable or habitable for the tenant.
yeah. I was, when we talked through the policy that you set up for us, I was impressed that you were asking about what's that rehab scope of work, what was done on it, what you were saying, what would have been done if we were doing the rehab. We bought one that had been freshly rehabbed, but not all agents are looking at that and looking at those details to kind of get dialed in on the right policy. Um, and I know most of our customers, when they come in, there's usually a kind of a short time frame to get closed. And I know you work quickly on these. And I think that's one thing that would set you apart, because I know we have other insurance companies that we deal with through doing these closings, and they can sometimes end up being the thing that's holding the closing up. So I know you work quickly on these and you're diligent with it. Anything else that comes to mind that maybe sets you apart from just like the average insurance agent, that's different because of your experience with this?
I'll tell you, speed definitely will set me apart. If I'm available, I mean, I'm working for you as the insured, because I realize you got to get things done. You got to get them done quickly. You don't have time to wait 3 or 4 days just to hear a response to get something that, if this is what you do for a living, you should be able to get something done and have the conversation with them. And I can get most all the information between online, between a purchase order, and from you yourself to what I need to get you the right coverage in place. And it's all about endorsing the policy correctly to make sure all the little things are covered properly. But Speed and accuracy definitely sets me aside. I mean, because I time is money, and you're investing a lot in these properties, and that's important to me.
Yeah, yeah, important to us too. I know it's important to our customers. Well, Taylor, we won't make this interview go too long because I want people to have the opportunity, if they're intrigued by what you've said, and I would say to our audience as well, having again done this since 2011, that's a lot of years of experience we've seen a lot of different insurance people along the way. So the fact that we're interviewing Taylor here today, I don't take that lightly. If we hadn't had a great experience working with you ourselves, Taylor, and the multiple customers that have worked with you, you wouldn't make the cut. Frankly, we want to bring good people to our customers that we know are going to take good care of them. And one of the things we may not have pointed out yet, some of the service providers we deal with that will be on interviews, they work with a certain area. You, however, because the way you're set up, you can write insurance policies for the whole state of Alabama. Is that right?
I am statewide, working on some stuff for Georgia and Mississippi, but Alabama statewide at this point. Yes.
Wonderful. So if you're a real estate investor, whether you're rehabbing or you're going to buy, fix, and hold properties, because I know you guys do a rental dwelling policy that's really good for those long-term holds. Taylor's your guy to reach out to. If you have someone and you're not satisfied with how good they're taking care of the paperwork, how quickly they're helping you get ready for closing, or if you're newer and you don't have a locked-in insurance agent yet, highly recommend you to reach out to Taylor. We're going to put your telephone number, your email address will be included here in this video for people to reach out to you. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking your time to be on here. We are glad to put you out in front of our customer base.
Happy to help. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we're going to call this one a wrap. I will see you the next time on our next Pro Team interview. I look forward to hearing about your experiences as you reach out to Taylor and work with him to ensure your investment deals. He's going to take great care of you and bring some great expertise to the table. So that's it for today. Thanks again, Taylor. We appreciate you. And take care and God bless.